Welcome to the Ardor SEO Real Estate Marketing Podcast. Join us as we explore the latest marketing trends in real estate, discuss effective tactics for driving leads, and provide actionable advice from some of the top realtors in the US to help you streamline and skyrocket your real estate marketing efforts. Tune in to the Ardor SEO Real Estate Marketing Podcast and take your real estate business to the next level.
Hello, and welcome to another episode. With me today, I have Sarah Berman, the founder and CEO of the Berman Group, recognized as one of the best PR companies in America. But not your standard PR agency. They're advisors on everything and more. And with unparalleled experience serving the real estate industry, serving you. So welcome to the show, Sarah.
Thank you so much. It's such a privilege to be here. Thank you.
It's our privilege to have you. So first of all, we kick it off as we do with the other guests, and what we love on our podcast is stories, and we are firm believers that facts tell, stories sell. Please do tell us, what is your real estate story, Sarah?
Oh, thank you. I have been so privileged in my career to meet some of the best and brightest minds in real estate. I was born in Philadelphia. I went to high school in Philadelphia, and I came to New York for school. And when I first got to the city, I studied urban planning, and I thought urban planning sounded like a good major. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And when I took on an internship in communications early in my career, I was very blessed to meet construction teams, construction leaders, real estate owners and operators. And I was just fascinated. You know, there are obviously huge projects in New York City. I would look at the buildings around me, and I was very, very fortunate to meet some of the major real estate leaders in development and construction early in my career. So, of course, the communications bug stuck with me. And even though my education was in urban planning, I just wanted to continue to serve the developers and operators that I was meeting. Over the years, our practice has really put us in contact with some of the best office developers, mixed-use developers, many multifamily owners and operators. We represent Howard Hughes Corporation, who do master plan communities all over the United States, and really what I consider best-in-class companies that are really doing placemaking and are creating communities, whether they're residential, mixed use, or commercial, all around the United States and even globally. Some of our biggest clients today are BXP, the former Boston Properties, RXR. We represent Brookfield, and we continue to meet developers today who are using creativity to transform either the housing market, where there is so much demand, or the commercial office space that really today requires a bit of a reinvention after the pandemic. And we really have been so fortunate to be on the front lines as these creative real estate developers and operators think through the next generation of their products.
Nice. And it's awesome to always be, ready. Anything that happens, being COVID, being the next big thing next week or next month, to be able to pivot and to stay on top, right?
Absolutely. Just today, I was in Washington, D.C. with one of our clients, the Post Brothers. They're a Philadelphia-based developer. They're growing nationally by leaps and bounds. And they were showing a reporter how you convert a former office building to a residential building, and really a mega residential project. And they showed us the floor plates and the physical attributes of a building that can be converted. And I learned so much from clients like this every day. I feel so privileged that that's part of my real estate story.
Nice. I hope they put more bathrooms on. I think that was the first step, like more bathrooms. Maybe some kitchens. But
I'll be happy to share your notes.
So yeah, Sarah, so we understand your expertise and the connection with with the real estate world, right? It is around PR. So why is public relations so important to success in today's real estate market?
Public relations is critical for both residential, commercial, multifamily, really any asset class. In commercial today, you're seeing a total reinvention of the office property. Class A buildings, even beautiful new construction buildings, have to brand themselves as a place that tenants and workers and talent want to be. We're seeing new creative amenities, a real focus on hospitality, rebranding buildings that were maybe once a straightforward office building to today more of a community, more of a lifestyle offering. We've created amenity programs for many commercial offices, individual buildings, but also campuses. On the residential side, we're seeing more of the same. People want to live in warmer climates. The Sunbelt residential and multifamily is on the rise, but people want to live in communities that have a multitude of amenities right outside their doorstep. And being able to package that and tell that story and explain to your prospective audience of either an office tenant or a resident is so critical today. There's more competition than ever, but the smart developers are using creative communications, rebranding, branding, creative communications, and then also public relations to tell those stories and to make it clear why a CEO may want to locate their company within a specific office property. It's so critical today.
Yeah, the message behind a building or a house, it is very important that it's super clear for the other person on the other side, because if it's not, if you confuse, you lose. That's what it's on my mind. So
That's right.
Doing first things first here, Sarah, and being that on our audience we may have a newly licensed agent, not with much experience, or we may have more experienced people that have already been doing PR. But if some agent wants to get started in PR themselves, what is the first steps and what they should have in mind?
For any agent, regardless of the asset class that you represent, it's really critical to think about what you do that is unique, what you know about a market that is different from what everyone else understands, and taking viewers on a tour. You can do it today from an iPhone. Being able to be a resource to a reporter to provide background or reference material, even if it doesn't get you in the headlines at first. It's so important to be able to have a specific niche, a specific story, a specific expertise, and then to be able to communicate that, right? You want to work with the agent that really understands the market dynamics, the product that they are either leasing or selling. It's so critical today, and everybody wants to work with the agent that they trust, right? Who has their finger on the pulse. And you can do that through creative communications. You know, today with Instagram, with YouTube, even, you know, other social media today, you know, whether it's your Snapchat or whether you're interested in, you know, any other platforms, LinkedIn today, you have a built-in audience, right? And people want to hear what you say, but you only have one chance to be a credible reference. And I would say really think through how you're going to present yourself, how you are unique, and what you understand about market dynamics or the product that's completely different from your peers. It's really with the power of the iPhone or the smartphone today in being able to record video and really relate to your audience in a human way gives agents a leg up today. Whereas maybe years ago, you needed to hire an expensive production company. Today, you really, you know, you can use your device and be really successful as an agent doing your own messaging and public relations.
Yeah, and I think that's very powerful. I don't know about me, I have iPhone 6, so maybe that wouldn't work very well. But but I assume like yeah, with having the smartphone in your hand, like you have a gateway to a whole universe of contacts and your audience and your community, and the communication with it needs to be impeccable. I totally agree with that, and I think everyone has has their opportunity to go at it, right? But how do you find that most fail, right? So let's be honest here, Sarah. Like we know that in the real estate industry, maybe people are a bit fed up of listening to this, but it is true. Like most real estate agents fail. And would you say the same thing about when people try to do public relations? Do most real estate agents fail, or what is the situation here?
That's a really interesting question. I think if I had to give you a simple answer, it's that most real estate agents don't understand the power of the content they're presenting. So the Berman Group uses Instagram as one of our social media platforms. And a lot of agents across the country, many residential agents, follow our pages. And we follow them back, and it's created a community.
Mhm.
But I'll see agents posting content that's, everyone can do a day in life. Everyone can sort of follow their day and do tours of real estate. And here's the building that I'm showing today, or the apartment or the office. I think one of the things that people don't realize, and maybe a real pitfall, is realizing the power of really great content, and sometimes even the negative effects of really basic content, right? If you really plan or are thoughtful about what you're presenting, and you said, well, I want to be the leader of New York retail, and I'm going to showcase in my travels the top retail markets and the top retail spaces available for lease, and the top retailers who may be looking for space in the city. And it was really well thought out and well planned and narrated. I think that agent would do very, very well. If what you're doing is just walking around with the iPhone and not really thinking through your posts, as either thinking of it like episodes or as really engaging content, I think that's where some agents really go wrong. Here's the apartment I showed today, or here's the commercial office I toured today, but they're forgetting the why.
Mhm.
Why is that such a great apartment? What is unique about the neighborhood? Why would one want to live there? You can't just peer out the window with the smartphone. There needs to be something more, and it's very competitive. And so I think really thinking through, how can you be a thought leader? How can you be on the cusp of trends, right? Show your community what the top 10 residential markets are today in the Sun Belt and why, and then hone in on the unit that you're showcasing in a warm weather state, or showcase the office market today and what people are looking for, and then zoom in on the floor that you want to lease. There's so much opportunity for creativity. And I think that's, I don't want to say that many agents will fail, but I think that's the part that prevents people from really standing out or being incredibly successful.
Yeah, and I completely agree with that. And I see here maybe a discussing point, not with me, because I agree with you, with someone else, but because I've on my other podcast guests, we've talked about this, the social media content and how to grow your following and improve your conversions there. And one thing that they talk a lot is about consistency, right? And this is something that you have not mentioned. You prioritized the value and the relevancy of the content on top of the consistency. And I think this is a problem that more agents, they're probably listening to the word consistency over value, and they go, oh no, I need to post today, and they put a picture of their deck, or I mean a picture of their deck. That would be funny,
Right.
but but you understand what I mean, right? Like, okay,
Yes.
consistency, they put a like just a listing picture of a house, and it was like, okay, yeah, why? Like you said it so correct. Like, why? Why are you posting this? Like,
Right.
what is the value? And why am I continuing to follow you after I take a look at this content, right?
Right. So it's the marriage of the quality content with the consistency that equals success, right? Yes, the person who says consistency is key, I believe in that. I believe they're correct. But you're not going to keep tuning in if you find the content boring or irrelevant or, not well thought out, right? People have a limited attention span. But I'm going to keep going back if I'm learning something, or if I'm getting a glimpse into something I wouldn't normally see, or if I'm really seeing content that I can't consume elsewhere. That is really what separates the great agents from, agents that use social media, but maybe aren't converting the social media to great business.
Yeah, and I know that I was not like opposing to the consistency part. It's just that social
Right.
media right now, it's very congested, right? It's very clustered.
Yeah.
It's a lot of traffic, including the ads, not like excluding the ads. the organic accounts, they already trafficked enough, so yeah, it is the marriage between them that you'll bring in the best results. I'm glad we put that into a conclusion.
Yeah. And I think with press, it's really the same thing. A lot of our clients want to have tier 1 media exposure. They want to have broadcast media exposure. They really want to stand out. And I'm constantly and consistently telling them that if we can find ways of providing content or thought leadership that nobody else is providing, you will get the coverage you are looking for.
Mhm.
And I think, the tour we did today, being able to show a reporter, this is what a conversion really looks like. This is how it's accomplished. Let me show you the physical building and how we are going to convert this. That's in itself a real differentiator for this particular developer. And there's many ways to do that and to make sure that you have a unique and really strong story.
Yeah, and it's funny you mentioned the press, because that was my next door that I wanted to knock on this conversation is, yeah, because, and when people think of PR, right, they think of, oh, I want to be on that magazine, oh, I want to be on Forbes.com or shake someone's Donald Trump sign or whatever. My question here is, how do you handle relations with the media? And is this, sorry, so two questions question, and is this
Okay.
something that can be done independently, or a PR agency like the Berman Group is necessary?
Well, you asked, how do we handle relationships with the media and handle outreach to the media? We are in contact with our valued media sources very often on a daily basis. And we've honed those relationships year after year after year. The Berman Group has been in business for almost 18 years. And the community of journalists who cover real estate, whether it's residential, hospitality, office, right? That's fairly small in the universe of press as a whole.
Mhm.
We also work with business reporters. We do handle some clients outside of the real estate industry, but that group of real estate journalists, the very significant real estate media, we're in contact with all the time. We are cultivating our relationship, And we are pitching to them unique stories that we think has value and hasn't been told before. And that's very key too. So you ask, do clients need an agency like the Berman Group? Maybe not in all cases, but I do think we can help to tell the story, to make sure the story is unique, to help the story really stand out, and to put it in front of media contacts that we know and that we foster very long and deep relationships with. So I think the outcomes may be stronger in working with an agency like ours, rather than going at it alone and really just trying to pitch and hope that you form these relationships. It really is a relationship business. We don't pitch stories to journalists that don't make sense. You know, we will not go to a journalist, a broadcast journalist, a tier 1 journalist, a business journalist, if we don't think there's truly a story there. And it is our job to find the unique story, to let the reporter know what's unique, and to help our client filter out what they really should be saying. So we have a relatively new client, Conti Capital. They're based in Dallas, and they do multifamily in the Sun Belt, like several of our clients, but they produce a specific index. That index, those numbers, those figures are incredibly valuable to reporters. Many reporters are looking for data and indicators, whether it's economic indicators, housing forecasts, or other forms of really tangible data around real estate. So this is a client that's got lots of great information, but we're helping them filter out and figure out who to feed that information to so that it can turn into a really successful story. And that is how we help our clients. We want to be telling a strong story that's very unique and pairing it with a reporter who will really find value in the story and want to cover it because it's something they haven't heard before, or there's some value to whether it's their viewers or their readers.
Nice. Is this the back to office index, something like that?
Yes, you know, we helped Castle with their, you know, they have a back to work barometer. We worked with Castle, and, you know, we really found that that indicator has really been not only for private companies, but for governments and for whole regions, a great indicator on how the office market is doing, how offices are being utilized. It's really looking, you know, the data can be sliced and diced. Castle provides, you know, access data. So they're looking at key card swipes into a building. And it's a very unique metric that I really think has helped the country to sort of parse out many of the facts around the pandemic, right? You can feel like a city is populated during the workday, or you could feel like, you know, it's not so busy. But to have those metrics has been, I think, very groundbreaking for, like I said, not just real estate companies who are thinking about what to do with their assets, but corporations who are looking at what their peers are doing or what's happening around the country. And then also governments who are thinking about, you know, the future of downtowns today and how to keep a city alive and vibrant when it may be slow for the office market to return. It's been an incredibly successful index, you know, among several that exist.
Nice, and yeah, I think that's one of the examples that, right, like a master PR strategy is necessary to fulfill the goals, right? Because there's a lot of ins and outs of it. As you were telling, it was like, and you were telling us like it was your own index, you know, and it's not your index. You're just helping the index spread.
the relationship with Castle is one we're very proud of. And I really do believe they've provided a service. It is a barometer, right? So they've provided this temperature check, if you will, to commercial owners everywhere, all around the United States, and really helped cities to determine, what is their future looking like today, and do they need to make adjustments? Do office building owners need to make adjustments? How can corporations react or lead? It's been great to see the value of something like that. And I know the Castle team has put incredible resources into it. But yeah, it's also taught me a lot about what's really happened after the pandemic. And obviously we care a lot about the future of the office market around the country.
Nice, and thanks for sharing that. I think that's a truly flying success story. And thanks for sharing. And again, I said again, like, it's very fulfilling for me to see you talk so much with so much passion about something that it has to do with your client, right? And not your personal business, but it is in the end your personal business, right? So Sarah, tell me. So we're wrapping this up here. How can people get a hold of you? Let us know. Contacts, information, social media. Because people will listen to this, they'll be like, oh, like I have a PR question, I need to ask Sarah. Like, where can I find her?
Okay. Well, we'd love for you to find our firm online. Our website address is Berman, Berman GRP, Berman GRP. And we also can be found through social media. We can share our handles. Again, it's the Berman GRP for Instagram. And if you want to send me an email, you can email either talktous@bermangrp.com or sberman@bermangrp.com. I truly appreciate it. Thank you.
Perfect. And I truly appreciate you coming on here on the Ardor Real Estate Marketing Podcast. And yeah, wish you all the best. Thanks for the value, Sarah.
Oh, thank you so much. It's been a real privilege to talk to you, and I'm really grateful for the opportunity. I hope we can do more together in the future.
And we will.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.